Hi students and family members, this is Mr. Panza. Today, our focus area question: how are decimals related to fractions? We just finished up fractions. Getting set for decimals, you'll be happy to know there is a lot that decimals have in common with fractions. First, let's take a look at two vocabulary words that you need to know for this unit. One is the word digit. I'm going to give you the definition, a picture that comes to mind, an example of a digit, and a non-example of a digit. The definition of digit is one number in an entire number. In other words, if I look at my two hands, we have 10 individual digits because we have 5 digits on each hand. An example of a digit would be the numbers 5, 9, and 2 in the whole number 592 because 592 has 3 digits. A non-example would be that whole number 592. The second word we need to know is kilometer. The definition for kilometer is 1,000 meters, or just a little bit less than a mile. The reason I have the picture of the Sheetz billboard here is because a little bit less than a mile, or 1 kilometer, also known as 1,000 meters, is approximately a distance from a walk from Smoketown to the kilometer to Sheetz. So you're going to hear me say this over and over: there's a kilometer to Sheetz. I'm talking specifically if I walk to the Sheetz on Lincoln Highway East. A non-example would be a walk from here to Mr. Greg's art room. Those are your vocabulary words. Perhaps the more important thing to realize is the fact that there is a lot that decimals and fractions have in common. Let's take a look at a Venn diagram together. This Venn diagram shows the differences between fractions and decimals. For example, fractions can have any denominator. In my example, 1 over 12, 12 can be the denominator. Or 6 over 5. In this improper fraction, 5 can be the denominator. However, in decimals, whatever your numerator is has to be over either a 10, a 100, a 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, or 1,000,000. It has to be a number with friendly numbers. And you know that a friendly number has zeros in it, like 1/10, 100th, or 1/1000th. But the thing that they have in common is the fact that decimal fractions are not wholes. They're pieces, they're parts, they're bits, they're slices, they're portions, they're fractions and decimals. It is a piece of a whole. If you understand that place value and decimals are also related to place value overall in whole numbers, you'll be in good shape when we try Lesson 2, converting fractions to decimals and converting decimals to fractions. So let's take a look at the place value chart. As I had previously mentioned, decimals and fractions are very much the same. In fact, specifically when you start thinking about decimals as place value, you're going to start to see not only how they're similar to fractions, but also to place value. Let's take a look. We remember that in place value it starts with ones, then the tens, then the hundreds, and from right to left the numbers getting bigger. Well, now in decimal place value it's going to start with the word "and" to represent this decimal point, then the tenths, then the hundredths, then the thousandths. Notice again that every fraction I have that's represented for decimal is either over 10, 100, or 1,000. And the difference here, when I move left to right, the number is getting smaller. Can we remember? Remember the song that we sang at the very beginning of the year to remember our place value. It starts with ones, then the tens, then the hundreds, and so on and so forth. Well, I'm about to teach you a brand new song, decimal style, place value. It starts with "and," then the tenths, then the hundredths, followed by thousandths. And again, what do you remember? As I move left to right in place value, my number is always getting smaller. Now, like I promised you, that song that will help you remember place value from left to right in decimal version. Here we go.
Students in 4th grade in Mr. Panza's class, in numbers in position, but what is it worth? Place value in math means position and worth. I want to know my place value, position, and worth. My brain is growing because I'll be knowing my place value, position, and worth, baby. It starts with "and," then the tens, then the hundreds, followed by thousands, 10,000s, hundred thousands, and then the millions. And that's place value decimal style. Starts with N, then the tens, then the hundreds, followed by thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, and then the millions. And that's place value decimal style.
So I hope after this lesson you can see that decimals are not only related to fractions in that they are pieces, parts, and not whole numbers, but they are also related to place value. Take that song with you and it will help you remember the place values from left to right in the decimal versions of numbers. At the same time, it will help you remember that fractions are those pieces, which means when we go left to right, the number is getting smaller. I hope this video helps.